So we're taking a deep dive today into Samia, a story of survival, love, and legacy.
Really powerful book.
It is. We've done a lot of deep dives
Yeah.
on all kinds of different topics, but this one feels especially personal somehow.
I agree with that. And I think a lot of that comes from
Yeah.
the perspective that the book is written from,
Right.
It's her son,
Her son.
Hussein, who is telling her story.
Right.
And it's just so infused with love and empathy and respect for her.
Well, and you can feel that right from the beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
He starts out by talking about her childhood and being the only girl in a family with 6 brothers.
That's going to shape you.
Yeah.
Like, how could it not?
It really does.
Yeah.
And the book does a great job of sort of setting that scene, of like what that was like for her. What were the societal expectations?
Yeah.
What kind of limitations was she immediately facing just by virtue of being born?
Born a girl at that time in that place,
And I think what struck me is that he doesn't paint the brothers as villains or anything like that.
No, not at all.
It's not like this, patriarchal system where they're all, out together or something.
Right. They were just like products of their time.
Yeah, it was just
in their culture. Yeah.
the way things were.
Yeah. And I think, one of the remarkable things about Samia, is that there's this lack of bitterness that comes through.
She doesn't seem resentful.
Even though, how could she not be in some ways, right?
Right.
But there's this quiet strength about her and just this acceptance.
And grace.
Yes, absolutely.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And I think part of that too is
it makes you wonder how much she just internalized. Like how much she just thought this is the way it is, and
this is my lot in life. This is what's expected of me.
Yeah.
There's a passage where Hussein talks about the death of one of her younger brother, and how profoundly that impacted her.
Oh, wow.
Like it really shaped her worldview.
Yeah.
It instilled in her this deep aversion to conflict and this sense of the fragility of life, And I think that's something that she carried with her.
And passed on to her own.
Throughout her life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like even in the midst of all this hardship, she's finding ways to
teach and to guide.
Teach and to guide.
Yeah. Which brings us to the forced marriages.
Yeah.
Talk about a difficult topic, right? It's hard to read about these events without feeling this visceral sense of injustice.
Absolutely. Married at 13.
13 years old.
A much older cousin.
Yeah.
How is that even?
Like, where's the agency?
Yeah.
Where is the choice for Samia in any of this,
It's almost incomprehensible to us now. Yeah. But back then, in that
context,
it was her reality.
Yeah.
And it's not just that it's a cultural difference or whatever. It's like this marriage.
It was abusive.
Yeah.
The book doesn't shy away from the emotional and physical toll that it took on her.
Can you imagine becoming a mother at 13?
I know.
In that environment?
While enduring that kind of trauma.
Yeah.
It's unimaginable.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And yet she finds a way to escape.
She does.
With the help of her brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, she's forced to make this impossible choice of leaving her daughter behind.
That separation, that wound, it never truly healed for her.
No. And it's just a few years later.
I know.
That she's pushed into
another arranged marriage.
Yeah. And this time, it's not
the physical abuse.
The physical abuse, it's a
different kind of pain.
Yeah. Different kind of pain.
It's the neglect, the emotional absence of her husband.
Yeah.
He's just not there for her.
Leaving her to shoulder the burden of raising their sons.
3 sons, all on her own.
Alone.
Yeah. There's a quiet desperation in Hussein's words as he describes his mother's struggles during this period.
You can feel the weight
of
her responsibility, her loneliness. It's almost a relief, I have to say, when the Danish man enters the picture.
Right.
Offering this promise of a new life in Denmark.
That's where the hope comes in.
Yeah, that hope.
Right, that chance for something better, a chance to escape.
To break free everything she's known.
Yeah. And it seems like, at least initially, he might actually deliver on that promise, right?
He does at first.
There's this period of attentiveness, this facade of a changed man.
Right.
But then, as they settle into their new life in Denmark, the cracks start to show.
Yeah. And that's where things take a turn.
And the hope starts to feel a little bittersweet. Yeah, it's like this underlying current of, caution.
Yeah, like she's almost waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Exactly. She's been hurt before,
Right.
So she's not naive. She knows that things aren't always as they seem.
But then he starts withdrawing again.
He does. And it's gradual at first, almost imperceptible.
Mm-hmm.
But the warmth, the support that was promised,
Yeah.
it starts to evaporate. And they're left feeling
Like they've traded one set of problems
isolated, disillusioned. Yeah.
for another.
It's like a recurring nightmare for her, you know?
Yeah, that cycle of hope and then
This pattern of hope followed by a crushing disappointment.
disappointment.
It's heartbreaking. And what's even more heartbreaking is the impact it has on her sons.
Yeah, Hussein talks about his older brothers feeling compelled to leave school, right?
They do. They feel this incredible responsibility.
To find work, to help support the family.
Step up, to fill the void left by their stepfather.
Imagine the weight of that decision.
It's a lot for young boys to carry.
It really speaks to the kind of mother she was,
Oh, absolutely.
that they would make those kinds of sacrifices for her.
It's a testament to her love, to the bond they shared.
But it also underscores the immense burden she carried.
Mm-hmm. Even in this new country.
That was supposed to be their salvation.
Right. They escaped the societal pressures of Lebanon.
But they found themselves facing new challenges in Denmark.
Exactly. And for the youngest son, the one who stayed home, it was a different kind of pain.
Yeah, he witnessed the broken promises.
He saw the growing disconnect between his mother and stepfather.
And that had to have affected his sense of stability, of security.
Oh, absolutely. It impacted his whole worldview.
It makes you wonder if Samia ever found any moments of respite during this time.
Any sense of personal fulfillment.
Yeah.
There's this really poignant passage where Hussein describes his mother learning Danish.
Oh, wow.
And it's more than just language acquisition.
Right.
It's about her trying to carve out a little space for herself.
A little bit of independence.
Exactly. In a life where she had so little control.
You mentioned earlier her failing eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine the determination it took to pursue language studies in that condition.
It's incredible. It speaks to her resilience.
Her refusal to be completely defined by her circumstances.
And then there's this detail that just breaks my heart, you know?
What's that?
The photos she sent back to her sons in Lebanon,
Oh, yeah.
projecting this image of happiness,
Trying to shield them
shielding them from the reality of her loneliness.
from her marital struggles.
It's a testament to her love, you know?
It is, but it's also so sad.
It is. It's both inspiring and incredibly sad.
And then the cancer diagnosis arrives.
Yeah, advanced cervical cancer.
It's like a punch to the gut reading those words.
I know. It's like, how much can one person endure?
Right. She's already been through so much.
And now she's facing this terrifying illness alone in a foreign country.
And her sons are initially denied visas to visit her during treatment.
Adding insult to injury.
It's unimaginable, the emotional toll that must have taken.
The separation on top of everything else is just, it's too much.
But even in the face of this devastating news,
She finds strength.
not just for herself, but for her sons, right?
Right. She frames her battle with cancer as a fight for them.
To show them the power of resilience.
The importance of never giving up.
So moving.
It is. Even in her darkest hour, she's still teaching, still guiding.
And there's that brief period of hope.
Yeah, the tumor shrinks.
Offers this glimmer of light.
A moment of reprieve.
But it's tragically short-lived.
It is. The cancer returns.
And this time the treatments are unsuccessful.
Hussein talks about their frantic search for alternative therapies, the anxiety, the sleepless nights.
Watching their mother's health deteriorate from afar.
It's a testament to that mother-son bond, you know.
That connection that transcends distance and hardship.
And as Samia's journey nears its end, her focus shifts.
From battling the disease.
To finding peace. It's a hard transition.
It is. But it's the way Hussein describes it. It's really quite beautiful.
It is. He talks about this sense of acceptance, you know,
Right.
like she's no longer fighting. She's just sort of turning inward,
And reflecting on
her life and her legacy. Yeah.
And what's really striking is that there's no
Right.
bitterness.
No bitterness, no regret.
No regret.
Just this deep love for her sons.
Yeah, and this pride
This quiet pride.
in the sacrifices that she made for them.
Yeah. Like she really believed in the importance of
Yeah.
what she had done.
You know, there are all these little anecdotes that he shares
Yeah.
that really paint a picture of her character.
Like what?
Like patching clothes,
Oh, yeah.
wearing old shoes,
Mhm.
even pretending to read when her eyesight was failing.
Oh, wow.
It's like, these weren't just acts of frugality, right?
Right. They were expressions of love.
I love, yeah.
Yeah. Like she wanted to make sure that her sons had what they needed.
And that meant
Even if it meant
Yeah.
depriving herself
Of even the simplest pleasures.
Yeah. And she does talk about the guilt, you know?
Yeah, she felt guilty.
The guilt over the sacrifices that her sons never even saw.
But there's still no regret, right?
No, none at all. It's like she found meaning in it.
It's beautiful.
In motherhood. In raising her sons.
And then as she's approaching the end,
she starts to let go.
Yeah.
She puts her trust in her son's strength.
She believed that they had inherited her resilience.
Absolutely. She knew they would be okay.
That they would take care of each other.
Yeah, even without her there.
And then there's that amazing moment.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
When her youngest son, after being denied visas for so long, is finally granted permission to visit her.
It's a bittersweet reunion.
It is.
But it's beautiful. It brings a sense of closure.
To both of them.
Yeah, it's like a final gift.
And it makes you realize the importance of connection, right?
Absolutely. Especially at the end of life.
That human touch, that presence.
It's so essential.
So Samia's story is one of immense hardship.
Yeah, she endured so much.
But it's also a testament to
the power of love.
To the power of love, yeah.
The love between a mother and her sons.
The love that
fuels resilience.
And
the love that leaves a legacy that transcends generations.
That's a story that stays with you.
It does.
It makes you think about your own life.
About your own relationships.
About the sacrifices that people make for us.
Yeah, and the strength that we find in those connections.
So if you haven't already, I really encourage you to pick up a copy.
Of Samia, a story of survival, love, and legacy.
It's available on Amazon.
In hard copy and audiobook.
And once you've had a chance to read it, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, share your reflections, leave a review.
And let's continue this conversation.
About this incredible woman.
And the lessons we can learn from her life.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a privilege to explore Samia's journey with you.